A new beginning, on a chilly winter morning, in a small town nestled by the mountains. Sophie was preparing for her usual walk through the park, her favorite part of the day. She was wrapped in layers of warm clothing, her breath leaving clouds. In the crisp air, she walked along the path, admiring the beauty of the trees that glistened with frost, when something unusual caught her eye. A little girl, no older than 5, was sitting alone on a bench, her face buried in her hands. Sophie's heart skipped a beat. In a world that often felt too busy to notice, she had just noticed someone who needed help. Sophie approached slowly, unsure of how to break the silence. "Hey there, sweetie," she said gently, sitting beside the girl. The girl looked up, her eyes red from crying. Sophie smiled softly. "What's your name?" she asked, her voice full of warmth. The girl sniffed and wiped her nose. "Mia," she whispered. "Mia, why are you sitting out here alone? It's a cold day." Mia looked down at her hands, as if the ground could provide an answer. "I lost my dog, Sophie," she said, her voice shaking. "He's my best friend. I called for him, but he didn't come back." Sophie's heart broke at the sadness in Mia's voice. She put a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "I'm so sorry, Mia. That must feel really hard." For a moment, there was nothing but the sound of the wind rustling the trees. Sophie, remembering the joy her dog had brought her in her childhood, knew the pain Mia was feeling all too well. But instead of leaving the moment at sadness, Sophie decided to make it a moment of hope. "Would you like some help finding him?" Sophie asked with a kind smile. Mia's eyes brightened, and a flicker of hope sparked in her. "You can help?" she asked, her voice small, but filled with the courage only a child could have. "Of course, I will," Sophie said, standing up and offering Mia her hand. Together, they walked through the park, calling out for the dog. Sophie, who had lived in the town all her life, knew all the nooks and crannies, and she led Mia through familiar paths, where many memories had been made. After a while, they heard a soft bark in the distance, followed by a wagging tail and a happy face. Mia gasped. "There he is," she squealed, running toward her dog. Sophie watched with a smile as Mia reunited with her furry friend, her tears of sadness replaced by laughter. Mia's dog leaped into her arms, as if understanding the importance of the moment, and Sophie's heart swelled with happiness. It was such a simple act, just a walk in the park, just helping someone in need, but it reminded Sophie that life's greatest joys often came from the smallest moments of connection. As they made their way back, Mia clutched her dog tightly, whispering thank you to Sophie. Sophie, in return, gave her a knowing smile. "You see, Mia," Sophie said, "sometimes life will challenge us, but with a little hope and help from others, we can find our way through." Mia looked up at Sophie, her face glowing. "I'm glad you came to help me, Sophie. I think I can handle anything now." And Sophie, in that moment, realized that, while it's easy to feel lost, sometimes all it takes is one person to help you find your way again. The snow had begun to fall more heavily, but it didn't matter. There was warmth in their hearts, and that was all they needed. As they parted ways, Sophie felt a renewed sense of purpose. A small act of kindness had sparked a great change. It didn't matter how big or small, what mattered was showing up when it mattered most. In the end, Sophie realized something beautiful. Sometimes the best way to find your own way is to help someone else find theirs. And with that, both their days were brighter.